Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Welcome back to MGT 300. My name is Dr. Khaswane. I will be taking you for today's lesson. So today we will be discussing HRM challenges faced in the 21st century. Now, I heard that over the weekend, your original lecturer had assigned some work for you guys to go find out and compile work on challenges that you may know of or may have not heard of. But before we proceed, I would like to know, does anybody or may anybody please define the term human resource management for us? Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you. I'm Madhu. So, human resource management is the efficient and effective management of a corporation or an organization and controlling it such that there is hiring, firing, and motivation of employees to enhance the competitive advantage of the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu. Now, as we heard that HRM consists of or speaks on hiring, firing, and training of employees in an association or an organization. Now, let's just get straight to it. Would anyone like to go first in sharing with us which challenges they were able to find over the weekend? How about you, Gudlo?
Good morning. I'm going to be talking about family and friends. Yes, in the older times when there was an enterprise in the company, friends and family were considered first. And the fact that it's a family business, we normally tend toward the ones we love. So the problems associated with hiring friends and family is that the employer cannot separate the performance of the person and the company needs. So for example, if maybe your uncle and the uncle is not performing well in the company, it makes it difficult as the manager to fire them because of the special ties. Yes, like I was saying, when making decisions in the company as a manager, it appears that it's favoritism when it's completely fair. For example, let's say you're choosing your cousin to be promoted to another level, and that on its own, it can appear like it's favoritism, and this can result in the employees' morale being undermined. Moving on, one other thing about hiring friends and family is that they may end up bringing an aspect of familiarity. They may have this impression that this special relationship it extends to the workplace and end up not taking their work seriously. And this on its own, it affects the organization very negatively because of the incompetency of people. Nowadays, things have changed differently because nowadays companies look for growth and value. So they look for people with the needed expertise, with the skills that are needed so that they can bring about the development and growth in the company. So that's all about family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Gudlo. Class, now having the point she has stated, would you guys ask her any questions about her research? Okay, no questions. Now, Gudlo, now that you've done your research, how about you as an entrepreneur? Would you look to hire any friends or family, or would you hire someone who has the requirements needed for that occupation, the skills needed for that occupation? Between them and your friends or family, who would you decide to give the job to as the individual?
Well, with me, it doesn't matter, either family or like just strangers, as long as they have the skills I want in the company. And as if I'm a manager, I'll just make sure that I treat people fairly. And for me, I work with my brother. He's my boss. Like, he's so fair when making decisions because I have the skill. So I would consider hiring my family as long as they have the skill, and make sure that when I make decisions, they're completely fair. Yes. And I don't bring about, he's my brother. No, 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 no. It ends at home.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's good. But also don't forget that here we have to look at the future of the company. So if you're going to be one to decide to choose whether it's your friends or family, only because it's friends and family, you're not looking at what your company needs. We need to bear in mind that it's for the company. It's not to make anybody else
Exactly.
from wherever they're from happy. It's the benefit of the company. Anyways, thank you, Kutlo, for that. Would anyone like to go next? Charles, how about you?
Okay, the topic I researched about was multi-generational workforce and xenophobia. So someone once said that the only sure things in life was taxes and death. And now we can add two more things, which is aging workforce and multi-generational workforce. This was said by Ronald J. Burke in his book of the multi-generational and aging workforce. So what I searched about, I'm going to be talking about is the negatives about the challenges which we face in human resource management. First negative thing was the likely difference, preferred styles of communicating and stuff, and the tone of how people perceive things, between different generations. Maybe newer, younger, youthful people prefer to use abbreviations and stuff, instead of before it's B and M, number 4 and stuff like that. So it might be a challenge when it's communicating in groups and stuff, because they don't understand that. The other thing is negative stereotypes. With negative stereotypes, it's more of what can I say? I think it's more of the being a perception that older people would say young people are lazy, they're snowflakes and stuff like that, they're entitled and so on. And then maybe they would be saying that older workers are not flexible, they can't really work with others and so on. Yeah, so basically those are the, if those stereotypes are around, people won't want to work with them and so on. To be no, this one can't do the work or something, or they're always complaining and fighting. I think the last one I have is varying employee expectations and between the different generations. Someone might hold a different expectation from the employer. Maybe I don't know. But the employer, maybe when you are young and youthful, you are afraid, you're not sure how to ask the person. Well, the person who's been around already knows what to ask for and so on, or how to get or access the things. So I think that's another problem. That's all. Oh wait, I have xenophobia.
Oh yes.
Yeah, xenophobia is the strong dislike of foreigners or fear of foreigners. So this one, I think the strategy which people mostly use is language barrier, where you don't want to communicate with the person, or people want to use the local language. I've seen maybe groups in UP. You could find that foreigners are always complaining that no one wants to talk to them. They're always talking in Setswana or something. Or even sometimes when someone translates, they find it's an insult or something, or saying, let's make sure they don't hear us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one I was getting it also from the Bible story where God confused them, so they speak different languages.
And that not only happens in the workplace, but in other places as well, such as school also, where we have students going through that every day.
That's
Go
all.
on.
No, that's all. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you, Charles. Okay, guys, so far so good. Okay, guys, looking at the points we have discussed thus far, I think we are doing a great job. We're on track with what we understand. Would anyone like to name at least one more that we can do? Thank you, Benny.
Thank you, ma'am. I would just like to add 2 points. We have diversity in the workplace. These are the differences, similarities that employees have in a workplace or in an organization. Mm-hmm. This includes age, gender, culture, background, and physical abilities, and even disabilities. So how is diversity in a workplace a challenge? It's a challenge because organizations have like recruitment criteria, and this recruitment criteria make it easy to disqualify people from applying from the job. For example, we have the BDF, Botswana Defense Force Service. We all know that they do not recruit any person with disabilities, and you cannot apply if you have disability because they are going to do a background check. So you cannot be a soldier, even if you wanted to. The other point, we have the COVID-19. We know we have been faced by this pandemic. It has caused a challenge in the economy as a whole. It has forced organizations to close during lockdowns, and during this lockdowns, the government of Botswana stated that organizations should not fire their employees. And other companies and institutions did fire other people because they didn't make enough profits for that business. So if there's no profits, where are they going to get the money to pay their employees? Because it's lockdown. And if I remember quite clearly, the government closed essential services only. So only government organizations could operate only. So that affected the organization because they fired people, and hiring was less during this time because like I said, there was no money. So why would you recruit somebody when there's no money, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's not end it off there. Madhu, would you like to add on to any points before we end off today's class?
Thank you again. Okay, I'm going to talk about looting. Looting means stealing goods from a place, especially during a war or a riot. Yes, so earlier in 2021, 8 July, there were lockdowns in Botswana, South Africa, and many other countries. So during these lockdowns, some of the private companies were forced to retrench workers. This was to reduce the spread of the COVID-19. So according to Insider, there were zoos that were broken down in South Africa, whereby tigers were led to flee, and some people were attacked to be killed by them. So how the Human Resource Management Department is affected by the looting. The looting affects this department because, as we know, the HRM department is responsible for setting policies, having technologies and procedures that help with the controlling and motivating of employees so that they can be full, maximize profits. So when these procedures aren't followed, for example, when employees don't show up at work because they're afraid of being attacked by the looters in the streets, and when they're from home to work, when they don't go to work, this is going to seem as if the HRM is not doing its work, and it puts a bad image on the human resource department of the company. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. May you please give yourselves a round of applause. Before we close, can I just conclude by giving you one last point? Let's look at gender specification. I think this has been a challenge for so many years, especially towards women, because let's take mining, for example. When we think of mining or talk about mining, mostly males are hired before women, don't you think? Because obviously they look at a man and maybe you'll say, oh no, he's stronger than a woman can only do this or that. A woman is only there for nurturing, for taking care of the home, and a man is sent out there into the world to fight for the needs and wants of their families. But as we look at the world today, we're in a modern place where women are actually taught these skills, given this knowledge on how to do certain things in areas of probably, let's just say, engineering, of course. And we look at women and obviously it's like you look down upon us women and you're like, what is she gonna do for us? What can she offer? She's weak and everything. But today you find women actually doing things that men can do, and things that men can't that women can. Now, how this may be a challenge to HRM is that women could unite as one and form a company that could become competition against one other company that looked down upon them as a woman. Now, what is that going to do? Maybe you will find that, oh no, since they were too egotistic to hire women, then they're gonna maybe ask for mercy from those women and say, no, may you please take back our not, maybe it wasn't even an offer, but they'll just say, no, please take our offer back, because they're looking at how your company is excelling with the power of the woman or that gender in specific that you had hired in that place of work. So there is a lot that you can say is happening around the world that is affecting HRM, because just like you named COVID-19, it seems like it's never ending. It seems like there are problems, then there are solutions, but then again there's problems. Will we ever find solutions to those problems? Will we ever get to a period where there is equality of everything, everything is just fair, everything is calm, like you said, the looting? Will we be facing world pandemics that can affect us financially? Also, xenophobia, can it affect our feelings, how we live, where we live, the people in which we talk to? Like, it's happening everywhere. It's a big situation, but I guess all we can do is get through it. There's really not much else that we can do. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for today's lesson. Your points were really great.